Okay, so this is the Caliph's Gold by Angus Donald, and it's in his Robin Hood series, but the Robin Hood series is finished, so he brought this one out after, and it slots in between book 2 and 3.
That's right. Yeah, it's after oh my god, Holy Warrior.
So Robin Hood and Alan Dale, so Alan Dale's the main character, they've gone off to the Crusades. They've successfully defended Acre and done some other stuff, and then
a whole bunch of shit happened.
Yeah,
Lots
of
his
stuff.
lover, and she's fucked up.
Yeah, he has a lover, and like her face gets cut off, and it's his fault.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, "Oh well, see you later."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, they escape that area because they've done their bit there, and Richard the Lionheart's still there, but they're going back to England with their gold and stuff. But there's a massive storm, and Robin's really set on getting home, but they shipwreck, and they shipwreck on an
island like around Italy, right?
Yeah, an Italian island, yeah. And they're Catholics as well, but Crete, I think it is. Isn't it? Crete?
I think that's right.
Yeah, Crete, and anyway, they're shipwrecked, and this knight from the Italian whatever forces or whatever comes up and says, "Hey, look, we got a castle not too far away. Do you want to come meet my ruler over? We might be able to sort something out, and you can have like a feed or whatever." It's like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Well, we're from the Crusades, and this knight seems like pretty interested in that."
Is that the guy that like ended up becoming his rival?
Yeah, rival.
And, like he was captured with them or something.
Yeah. So this knight takes him back to this like castle, and then the leader there's like, "Oh, I'm a devout Christian. I fucking every time I see a Saracen and I capture him, I crucify him." Right. And that disgusts them because they've seen enough crucifixion, they've seen enough of that sort of thing, and not only that, they've had enough dealing with Saracens in the Middle East and everything else to know that like this holy war thing is actually a bit of a farce, isn't it? And to like think of it in that way, it's just black and white. Belief and unbelief is sort of a silly thing to do. So anyway, they get a contract basically from this guy, this ruler of Crete, and said, "We want you to go and kill these pirates who keep raiding." And Robin goes, "Yeah, I'll kill them if they've got some gold and stuff, but you need to outfit my men, and you need to give us a whole lot of food and stuff so we can go and do it, and give us a couple of guys as well." So this knight who'd taken them back originally to the castle went with them, and they kill a whole lot of Saracens who were sort of just sitting around. They were pirates. They weren't doing very much like upkeep on their weapons and stuff, and they were very easily like thwarted. But they had all these prisoners and stuff, and Alan ends up interacting with one of these Saracens, and the Saracen turns out to be an Englishman who went to sea.
Oh, I do remember that. He's super tanned, right?
Yeah, he's really, really tan. He's not
like
actually
a poor kind of like a poor stock of life.
Whatever. Yeah, like from the streets kind of thing in England. And anyway, he tells Robin about the Caliph's gold, and they're like, "Oh shit, okay, well, you know what? Fuck this guy that we've decided to go on a quest for it and kill you guys. We'll team up with the Saracens and we'll go get this gold."
Yeah.
And they sail off. So they tie up the Black Knight, and he's pretty upset about it. So he becomes Alan's rival.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, they sail to,
and because Alan's like, I guess throughout the whole series, but he's like, lets his morals get away of what's logical. It's like, oh, you're making an enemy that can fuck you up later.
Yeah, instead of just killing him. Yeah. So anyway, they go off to try and get this Caliph's gold, and they get into a whole lot of problems with the Saracens. Saracens fight each other. The one guy beheads another guy who's also in charge of like a large market somewhere. And then what happens is they end up getting captured by the Caliph.
But it was like was that when they were like kind of treated well, but they have to stay with them?
Yeah, they were. So this Caliph is so rich and so powerful that he has British knights and Crusader knights working for him, and he treats them really well. He brings in priests and stuff for them, and it's a huge city that he has. That like it's all just like bows down to him, and basically what he does to Alan and Robin and all that. So he says, I'll let you out, but you have to go and take this castle for me because it's on my land.
And Robin stays behind, right?
And Robin stays behind, yeah. And then it ends up like they end up again. The moral thing ends up coming up again about it, and they end up siding with those knights, the British knights that they were designed to go kill, and then they end up fucking in a siege with this fortress, defending against the Caliph, and they had to do a whole lot of like creative things to keep the guys out. And then also there's a subplot in this story where there's an assassin guild that we find out about, and it's very much like Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's like a black guy in a turban, and he's like got a tattoo on his tongue or something.
And that came to a head like he pretended to be a dead body, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
He got his arm cut off, and him and Alan and what's his name? The German guy.
Oh, Hanno. And that was a great thing.
And they're like, fuck,
Hanno
I'm not taking you one-on-one. We'll just fucking take him together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was, might have been my favourite moment where they're like, no.
I think Hanno was great to see Hanno again. And we also see Ellen learn some stealth from Hanno. And they do like stealth training.
Right at the beginning of book 3 is where he implements that. Yeah,
he does, yeah. The other thing is like... it was a good book, but there was just lots of running around, and it was lots of, oh, we got captured, now we're free. Oh, and then we got captured again. Let's fuck this guy over, and then we'll do this thing. And it seemed a little bit like an old Batman episode where the Riddler's in charge, but then he gets captured, and then they have to like use something that the Riddler's got to try and kill the Penguin, but then the Penguin's like goes to jail, and then it just seemed like there was a lot of running around.
So my thoughts on this. So obviously, like a lot of the details about the story, I kind of it just didn't imprint in me.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I did love like having the old crew back again, like especially like Hanno and Little John
and everything else. Yeah.
Like that was the fun part for this. It was like the banter back and forth, and it's like especially after finishing the series, it's like kind of bittersweet seeing all this stuff again.
I think that's probably why I like the book so much, is that like the series for me had gotten stale towards the end. Like Alan became a very like prominent person for Robin, and a lot of those other characters like Friar Tuck, Will Scarlet, all those people are dead, and so it's basically just Alan and Robin at the end. And Robin actually dies, and Alan succeeds him. And to jump back in time and be with all the crew and stuff again, it sort of revitalized everything for me again. I was like, oh well, this was actually really good.
I think if this was the actual book 3, I would enjoy it a lot more. So like I think I would probably reread the series, and when I do, I'll throw this in after Holy Warrior.
Yeah. I think I don't know. I can't remember if I said it to you or someone else, but I feel like this guy tried to get through the series as quickly as he could, because he like these books are doing well for him, obviously, and he sort of ran out of ideas. He was running out of ideas. He's running out of things. So it was just like, oh, in this book there's another siege, and he gets another villain, and something else happens, and he was like him having to try and connect these dots that he'd set up with the first few books.
Yeah, some of them seemed like side quests almost.
Whereas like this one seems like a return to form. Like he had spent a little bit of time doing maybe another book, and then he'd come back and he's like, oh, you know what, I'm not done with Robin Hood. I'm not done with Allendale. Like here's something that is actually good.
And it was more like what I would want from this series is like kind of a heist. Rather than like assassinating whoever. Yeah, definitely. Because that's the thing. Like the overall series, it goes from this outlaw who's doing things for the king and seeming to be a good knight to do a heist underneath. It goes from that to almost actually being a true knight, and then
actually getting the consequences of being a outlaw sort of thing towards the end. So yeah, I thought it was good. What's your rating on it?
6.5, 7 maybe.
I'd give it a 7. For me, a 7 is a really enjoyable. Can be better, but like there's some kind of like story thing element that needs to be fixed or something for me. Like I thought the writing was really good. I thought description was good.
Action was great as always.
Action's always great, yeah. And for him to have certain things stick in my mind, like the stealth training, and the banter, like the banter was really really good. Like Allendale, can you take this thing out of me ass or something like that? And it's like, hey, that banter's really good. For him to actually have me remember that months after I read the book or whatever, that's good. That's good for me. So 7. Yeah.
What do you think of the series overall if you include this? So, like, obviously there are some like dips and peaks and that, but like if you had to do a rating for it.
Rating for the whole series? I don't know, man. 8.5, I think that's I think it's kind of high on the high end as well, because the first 2 books were almost perfect for me. Like book 1, fantastic. I had no issues with it. Book 2, even better. And I think that there's a part in book 2 that actually it's a very impactful part where in book 1 they chop this guy's arms and legs off. They chop this guy's arms and legs off, and then because they say to him, "What arm do you want to lose?" And they keep that arm and chop off all the other ones. Alan Squire is that guy's son, and he tries to kill him in the Holy Lands or something.
No. That does come up, but I think
Is it later on?
No, his squire is the guy that tried to kill who he thought was Robin in this dark room.
Oh, that's Alan. Right. Yeah. But there was the guy, because Robin.
I think that does.
Ordered him to do it.
Because I do remember the dialogue of like him saying, "I had to fucking like watch my father turn into this like miserable sack of shit because he can't do anything.
Yeah.
And I had to fucking wipe his ass and all this other stuff."
But like, to have something as small as like them, it was a shock factor thing. Like when you have something as a shock factor, like shit, didn't expect that to happen. But like back in the day, they did used to chop people's hands off if they stole.
Yeah, I mean that nearly happened.
And they were setting Robin up as in that first book as an outlaw. They were setting him up as an outlaw, and they're like, "Oh shit, we didn't know that outlaws did that to people. We didn't. He fucking dismembered people.
Street justice.
Yeah, street justice." And then for it to come back all the way in another book, and I think it was the second or third book or whatever.
Yeah. Probably when they got back to England, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, maybe. Anyway, when that happened, like, fucking blew me away. Like, those 2 books were great.
Yeah.
And like, there are parts about the other thing. Like, you find out about Alan's dad being a Frenchman. Yeah. He's been fighting the French the entire time. Like.
Yeah,
he's got French cousins, and like
he burnt his cousin's face half off. And
like
we didn't know. But
I don't know. Like there's strange things in it where like they are friends, and then they ransom themselves back, and all this other shit with the French, and like all that stuff's interesting. The historical side of things is interesting. There's great parts in it, but like I said in his later books, it's like he ran out of things that he wanted to say, or like he was trying to pump them out just for finishing the series, where he could have probably gone to one of his other projects like Blood's Campaign or something like that, and then returned to it.
I'll probably give overall a 7, I think.
A 7.
And that is like
that's decent,
good, solid 7.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, I'm the same with you. Like, I love the first 2, and then like a lot of the middle, I was like, oh, that's all pretty good.
Yeah.
I loved the Iron Castle, and then I didn't love, but they were still okay, the last 2.
What the fuck were those Blue Knights? The Blue Knights of Mary or something.
Right.
Why were they trying to kill Alan? You don't remember at all, do you? See, that's an issue for me. Like when you have an entire book like plot set out at the start of the book, and you can't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit of a failure, you know? That's a failure for me. Like, the Grail one, you knew it was a Grail because they fucking mentioned it the whole time. Holy Warrior, they were going to the Crusades, like Outlaw, you know, they were doing the Outlaw thing. For you to have, like, the main fucking part of a book be forgettable in a series ain't fucking good. Like, even Silverthorn, like, we knew what Silverthorn was months after, you know.
The motivations in them.
Yeah. But I guess you do get that problem with a book series that's more than 3. Like,
yeah,
like the Arisen series, I know that, like, it's a little bit different, and it's just like sort of pulpy fun. But those first 3 books should have been one book.
Yeah.
Even like first 4 books probably.
Yeah, I agree.
And then like
kind of like the Bobaverse, where it's like
kind of like the Bobaverse, like
3 in there.
And then like 7, 8, 9, it was just like it seemed a little bit like filler, and then like the last one's really good. But
okay.
Yeah, it shouldn't when you're in a series, it should feel like it's ticking along. You know, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, still overall loved Outlaw. Very glad I read it. I think I messaged you, like, it was kind of my introduction to historical fiction.
Yeah,
which is now like one of the big 3 or 4 genres I tap into, like fantasy, a bit of sci-fi, I suppose, and thrillers and
cool
fiction.
Historical fiction. Yeah, I like it too. But when I seem to go into historical fiction, it's usually sort of more sort of historical autobiographies that are like interesting. So it's like a guy who went into the war but did something cool, and you find out about it. You know.
I read the first few chapters of Angus Donald's new novel, The Last Berserker. It's awesome.
Oh yeah,
really
yeah,
like it so far.
So we should do a review on that.
I reckon so. I just don't know if it's on audio.
Oh, that's alright. I'll
but
just get it.
It's like 300 page.
Yeah,
roughly.
Should be alright.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's that one.
Actually, are you gonna read The Castle of Bones?
Oh, that's the Hanno one, eh?
Nah, I think I don't know when it's set, but it's another like novel somewhere along the timeline in the Outlaw series.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
it's the one. I'm sorry to say, the one with the awful cover. I think.
Oh yeah, no, probably not then.
Like,
I know it sounds like Ponzi, and I'm putting my nose up, but like that cover was so bad that I don't know if like it feels like it was probably in the time that he was getting lazy. Well, not lazy, but like getting.
It only came out last year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know, but fucking, I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a go. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I will eventually. Like, because it could be another one where like it's like really nice to get back in with the crew.
Yeah. What happens if it's the best of them as well? Like, it's got the worst cover, but like the best.
What's the quote? Like, you should never judge a book by its cover unless it's awesome.
True. I mean, I don't know, I've been stung before with some pretty nice covers, and then you're like, fuck, that happens, you know?
Yeah.
The dragon was the princess the whole time? Did the prince bang the dragon? Nah. Yeah, no, I mean.
Cool.
So that's that one.